I refused to give my sister a kidney. The whole family disowned me. Nobody asked why my sister Jade was always the favorite, the pretty one, the charming one, the one who could do no wrong. I was the quiet one who kept my head down and stayed out of the way. When Jade got sick, the whole family looked at me like I owed her something, like my entire purpose was to be her spare parts. The family meeting started before Jade even left the hospital. Everyone crammed into my parents' living room talking about my body like I wasn't sitting right there. My mom had the surgical paperwork rented out. My dad kept pacing and saying blood is thicker than water and Jade sat in the corner, wrapped in a blanket, looking fragile and scared. Same Jade, who wasn't fragile or scared 2 years earlier when she looked me in my eyes and broke me. The pressure came from everywhere. Aunts I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly had my number. Cousins who forgot my birthday were texting paragraphs about family loyalty. My grandmother left a voicemail sobbing, saying she couldn't die knowing her granddaughter were speaking. But not one of them asked why not one person. And my entire family stopped and said, wait, why won't she do it? They just decided I was jealous. They decided I had always resented Jade and this was my petty revenge. My mom stopped speaking to me completely. She would walk past me in her own kitchen like I didn't exist. My dad gave me one last chance. He sat me down at that same kitchen table where I learned to read and said, if you don't do this, you're not daughter anymore. I sat there, I listened, and I almost broke. I almost said, fine, schedule the surgery. I'll do it. Then I remembered the night before my wedding, what I walked in on, what Jade whispered to me after, like it was nothing. I looked my dad in his eyes and said, no, he hasn't spoken to me since for 10 years. I thought the story was over. Jade got her miracle transplant. I got erased. Life moved on. Then out of nowhere, the hospital called. Jade's kidney was failing and they couldn't figure out why something in her records wasn't adding up, so they started digging. They needed family history. They needed answers. A week later, a thick envelope showed up at my door. Inside was a report and a note from a hospital worker during their review covered Jade's mental health screening from the original transplant standard procedure. Every recipient does one before surgery. In hers, she talked about me. She told the counselor she had done something that damaged her relationship with her sister. She slept with my fiancé the night before my wedding to see what he would do. Those were her words. A test she destroyed my entire life because she wanted to run a test. My hands were shaking, but I kept reading. The next page was about the donor. He was anonymous back then, but he recently contacted the hospital wanting to help Jade again, so they looked him up. His name was Christopher, my Christopher, the man I was supposed to marry. He gave Jade his kidney 1 year after I ended our engagement. They must have already together by then, the document showed. They got married 6 months after the surgery. 10 years of a life together. Kids, a house, family, vacations. My family spent a decade treating Jade like a saint and me like a villain while she was building her dream life with a man who helped her break me. I sat with that for a long time. Then I picked up the phone and called my mother. She picked up, already crying. She had just gotten the same envelope. A week later, my mom called Christopher Lede. I asked why she got by. Then she told me they found messages during the divorce years of them 8 different men. 3 were husbands of her closest friends. I hung up the phone and I laughed until I cried.